Welcome to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. I'm Marcellus Wiley. Excuse me, Stanley Tukey Williams up here, big dog.
Oh, my
the
God.
original. And this is Grimace. Emmanuel Acho and his
What,
purple
Marcellus?
Yes.
I'm just mad you was prepping them light-skinned eyes at the camera before we went live.
Hey, all Drake today, baby. I am feeling amazing. This is going to be a photo finish in the swag wars. But let's get it started in Dallas, where the Cowboys are 2-5 after being blown out by Washington. Mike McCarthy has already lost his top two quarterbacks to injuries, with Dak Prescott out, and now Andy Dalton dealing with a concussion. Despite the Cowboys' struggles, Executive VP Stephen Jones said, quote, "I know we've got the right guy for the job." Jerry Jones also showed his support earlier today, saying, quote, "One of the reasons Mike McCarthy is the head coach is because he's been through it." So, Acho, does Mike McCarthy deserve a pass for the Cowboys' recent struggles? Not a giggle.
No.
You still laughing?
He don't deserve no pass. Cowboys fans, again, I apologize to y'all on Twitter. Let me apologize to y'all on television. I feel sorry for Cowboys fans. They didn't deserve this. They don't deserve this.
What is this?
Marcellus,
What is this?
Mike McCarthy doesn't get a pass. And also, recent struggles. You mean since he got there?
Oh.
The Cowboys have been struggling since Mike McCarthy showed up on the scene. These struggles are not recent. I don't know why we act like these last two ugly losses are any different than the first three losses. The players are a reflection of their coach. The Cowboys players are undisciplined, they're lazy, they're heartless to a degree, and they're unmotivated. They're heartless because they won't stand up for the quarterback, but I ain't going there with you because I'm over it from yesterday.
You ain't my friend.
Undisciplined, lazy, unmotivated, and heartless, Marcellus.
Wow.
The players are a reflection of their coach. Their coach, Mike McCarthy, clearly has to embody several of those adjectives which I just mentioned. How can you give the man a pass when he's quite literally been doing this since he stepped foot in Dallas?
Don't do this.
I had an issue with him not calling Dak Prescott. How do you not call your star franchise quarterback as soon as you get the job? Oh, I've just been busy handling things. That's when I was like, you know what? There might be an issue here. Then early
You didn't go on TV and say anything.
I didn't have this job at the time. I wasn't employed at the time.
Oh, really?
Not here. I wasn't, okay? Exactly.
Pandemic
Thank you.
money.
You should have texted the bosses sooner and gotten me this job earlier. But that, I digress.
Here now.
Early on, they lose to the Rams, not a big deal.
Okay.
Come back, win against the Falcons, it doesn't look good. But then, Marcellus, you lose to the Seahawks, lose to the Browns in not great fashion. At this point in time, Mike McCarthy is showing us exactly who he is. I do not give this man a pass at all whatsoever.
Are you done or are you finished?
I'm done. And I got some more, but you can go. Go ahead, sir.
Wow. In election season, I know that you're going to mail in your ballot, but I know you're going to mail in your take right there. That is a lazy ass take. Oh, you know what? After 7 weeks, get rid of the coach. Hey, you can't fire all the players, so let's get rid of the coach. Acho.
What's up, bro?
Man, you know you better than that. You know you got to give this cake time to bake. Grandma ever tell you that? All right, baby, come over here and help me make some of this cake, all right? You gotta get the eggs. Hey, don't put them shells in that batter. Swirl up. You put a little on your tongue. Ooh, Grandma, how long is it gonna take? She says an hour, baby. Okay, so then she puts it in the oven, 325 if your grandma's an OG. You know what I'm saying? 325, you got an hour to wait. But Acho can't wait. Acho is not gonna wait. Acho's gonna open up the oven, first of all, burn his eyebrows, and then he's gonna try and stick in there. Grandma said, And then you look at that cake in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, Acho, you didn't want to wait your entire hour. Look at that cake. Is it edible? Hell no. Why are you putting this all on Mike McCarthy when Mike McCarthy was sold a bill of goods? False advertisement when he became the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Mike McCarthy is asking, you ready this?
Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. I can't wait for this ignorance. Go ahead, sir.
What, my grandma or this? Mike McCarthy is asking, where's my starting quarterback? Anybody see my QB1? Oh, he's gone. Okay, that's fine. Where's my QB2? Oh, he's gone too? Bill of goods. Where's my running back? I heard of this guy, Ezekiel Elliott. People told me he was amazing. People told me he was tremendous. This guy is that guy. They wear the same number, but they're not doing the same things, fumbling the ball all the time. Where's my offensive line? I heard that they had arguably the best offensive line in the NFL. Tyron Smith anywhere? Anybody? Anybody? Lyle Collins? Anybody? No. Where's my defense? Oh, a couple years ago, weren't you the top 10 defense? Weren't you going to be a part of the complementary piece for this offense and this defense to finally take us to the promised land? Where's Jalen Smith? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, get quiet. DeMarcus Lawrence, you ever gonna get a sack? Here's the problem. He was told a lot And then when he showed up, a lot was missing. And that's the problem right now. You don't want to have the patience that I possess because I'm older. No. I can respect process. No. You're a part of this culture right now that wants it and wants it right now.
No, here's a problem with what you're saying. You talk about give Mike McCarthy time to bake the cake. Marcellus, what causes a cake to rise? Leaveners. Leaven causes a cake to rise.
Leaven?
Yes, leaven. Like, it causes a cake to rise. Look it up, Marcellus. I know a little bit about cooking. The issue at hand, though, is Mike McCarthy, he doesn't have the adequate knowledge himself to create this.
What?
Here's what I mean, sir.
What are you talking about?
You say that it's Mike McCarthy's fault that these players are disappearing. Have you ever thought for a second that Mike McCarthy is stopping the players from unlocking their ability? Aaron Jones, one of the featured backs for the Green Bay Packers the last 2 years. We weren't talking about Aaron Jones when Mike McCarthy was there. It's not because Aaron Jones wasn't in the league. We just weren't talking about him. All of a sudden, he has a new head coach, Matt LaFleur, and Aaron Jones is a top 5 running back in the NFL. He's having 4 touchdowns in one game. It's not so much, Marcellus, that the players are at fault. And yes, the players are not absolved as all their issues. But Mike McCarthy, Marcellus, is the person who has hamstrung the talent of the players.
Wow.
Let me tell you why else I will not give him a pass. We've all heard the phrase, you made your bed, you lay in it. Mike McCarthy, you made this bed. You hired Mike Nolan, your friend. The same Mike Nolan who, at the last time he was a defensive coordinator, Marcellus, was the worst defensive coordinator in the league. Let me put this in perspective. Imagine Mike McCarthy signing a quarterback in free agency who the last time he was a quarterback by any statistical metric was the worst quarterback in the league. Then he goes into quarterback Mike McCarthy's team and he's the worst quarterback in the league. I'm not going to act surprised. You better not act surprised. Mike McCarthy, you shouldn't even act surprised. You knew who Mike Nolan was, your defensive coordinator, before you hired him. You still chose to hire him. Now the Cowboys defense is sorry. You knew he was going to be sorry. You made this bed, Mike McCarthy. You lay in it. I'm not going to wipe my hands and release Mike McCarthy of the struggles that he caused. He knew what he was doing.
Wow, he knew what he was doing by hiring his friend, right? I should have known what I was doing when I hired my friend. Look at you now. Look, Acho, your first 7 shows.
The show's doing great.
Yeah, but after the first 7 shows, you came over here, the Gumby wasn't tilted, it was all messed up.
God.
Come on, man, suit's on way too tight. You're loosened up a little bit. Like, everything is coming. We had a lot of uncomfortable conversations in the first 7.
Get to your point,
My point is, stop using nepotism and cronyism against the guy. Stop doing that. Oh, Aaron Jones, this beast that you're talking about. Applause, he is a beast. He has a Super Bowl ring? Oh, no. But the coach you're comparing him to does have a Super Bowl ring, so maybe you should trust in his leadership ability. But I know you won't do that. You want to blame Mike McCarthy for not unlocking ability. When I just gave you example after example of guys being injured, forget ability, Dak Prescott was having a historic season. Career-setting season before injury. Oh, that just happens, huh? No, it's actually partly in part because of the coach. Look at this situation where Mike McCarthy finds himself. He walks into a culture. He walks into a situation of normalized futility. Let's just be real about the Cowboys. As you always want to remind me how long it's been, 25 years since not only did they win a Super Bowl, but since they've been to the conference championship. So he walks up into the Dallas Cowboys country club and realizes, damn, this is a lot different and a lot more difficult than I expected. We got guys out here who are just normal and fine with just being adequate, with just being mediocre. Despite getting their individual numbers, they don't care about the collective culture. As you point out, when they didn't fight for Andy Dalton as he was dying on the football field. There's not this collective heartbeat. Mike McCarthy's from Pittsburgh, man, Steel City. He goes up in there at Dallas and he looks at these guys, all these guys out there living country club spa days, and he's starting to realize it's going to take me a minute to build this culture. And that's why I want to quote Stephen Jones, who went out there and made sure that he could separate the signal from the noise. He knows not to listen to outside noise like Acho and people like you who are speaking this. What does Stephen Jones say?
What?
I know we've got the right head guy for the job, and it's a work in progress. Listen to this, Acho. These things just take time. When you got the right guy and you have the right mix, all you got to do is wait for it to cook. But Acho want to stick his fingers in the batter way too soon and then complain it doesn't taste
Marcellus, here's the thing, bro. You can tell by the taste of the batter whether the cake gonna be good or not.
Okay,
You can tell.
Zeke?
No,
Dak? You don't think that's good
the
cake?
cake doesn't have to be done. You can tell. I can tell in the first 7 games whether or not Mike McCarthy is competent or not. We could tell very early on. Remember when Mike McCarthy chooses to fake a punt, Marcellus? Week two, you're down 14-0. It might have been 20-0. And you're going to fake a punt in your own 20, 30-yard line? That is asinine, Marcellus. We knew early on that the job was too big for Mike McCarthy, and he's just continued to tell us that it is. Your best argument is that Dak Prescott was enjoying a historical year with Mike McCarthy.
Come on, though.
The Cowboys were still on pace to lose 12 games when Dak Prescott was healthy. Now they're just on pace to lose 13. Stop with the new head coach. Marcellus, Kevin Stefanski, new head coach. Browns look good. Matt Rule, new head coach. Panthers look good. Ron Rivera, new head coach. Battling health issues. Football team just beat the Cowboys by 22 points. They look okay. And you can tell the sorry head coaches. Joe Judge, they look terrible. Mike McCarthy, they look terrible.
Of all those examples, which one lost their starting quarterback that was on the historic pace? Which one?
Okay, great.
Is it great. I just want one.
Okay, let me go. Let's go there. Let's go there then.
What do you mean go there? I'm there.
It's not just that you lose. It's how you lose. Your Chargers, your beloved Chargers, lost their starting quarterback as well.
By injury season and injury
he
stop.
He
could have came back and they were like, look, we didn't want you back in the first
He lost their starting quarterback as well. The Chargers, they only won 2 games thus far this season.
Right.
But it's not just that they lose. It's how they lose. They're losing and looking good.
You move it.
They're losing and looking in a competent fashion. It matters. It matters. The Cowboys are losing and look terrible. Hey, no passes here. No passes here.
I'm going to help you out.
Please.
I'm going to help you out because the players are saying what I'm saying, but you want to be the insider.
Players lie.
Players are lying?
Stephen Jones has lied to us countless times. He lied to you, too.
First of all, you just said players lying, then went to Stephen Jones. I'm talking about the players.
What they say?
Van Der Esch, what did he say? It's not the scheme. It does the players no good to not blame the coach. So why would a player go out there and say, I'm not blaming the coach and put all the onus on him? Because he realizes that I'm going to take personal responsibility, something you should learn as a positive attribute if you're going to have these kind of arguments. We look at this team in totality, and this is Mike McCarthy, who once was on a 4-12 team. He looked at that 4-12 team and said, I could do something with that. And he inherited a 4-12 bunch. What did he do that first year with that team?
You don't mean
turn them into
8-8.
What did he do the next year? 13-3.
You don't mean any of
What happened 2 years after that?
You don't mean this.
They were the Super Bowl champions in 5 years. If you want to have a 5-year plan for Mike McCarthy, my question is, do you have the patience for a 5-year plan? Because Mike McCarthy has shown you before through resume that in 5 years he could take 4-12 to the Super Bowl.
The NFL does not have time for. You think Jerry Jones, in all of his glory, but in these advanced years, you think Jerry Jones, you know, I got to be kind of politically correct, in his advanced years of life, he ain't got time for 5 years plans. What we learned in 2020, tomorrow's not promised. And you talking about 5-year goals? This is not college, Marcellus. Mike McCarthy isn't 19, about to go off to school, and okay, Michael, what are your 5-year goals? Okay, for Dak Prescott, what's your 5-year goal? Oh, you want him to be at Super Bowl? Can I get a win now? Please. Please, Marcellus. Can I get one now?
How long was Jason Garrett there? What is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Far too long.
How long was Wade Phillips there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Far too long.
What about Bill Parsons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dave Campo, multiple years. Everybody got at least 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 8 years. And you're trying to look at Mike McCarthy, a Super Bowl winning coach, and now say he has no time. Acho, your biggest issue right here
What's my biggest issue?
Your biggest issue is you're not respecting that the culture needs to be extracted. Like, you need to grab the good parts and separate them from the bad parts. And that's what we have to do. And it's not all on players. Look, the scapegoat is in process. This is already occurring. You saw that they put up Everson Griffin, supposedly, for trade conversation. And that lets you know we're going to grab somebody who has a name, probably low-hanging fruit, and we're going to use him as an example. We're going to get this started out here in Dallas in terms of changing this culture. You can't get rid of Ezekiel Elliott, but you can't count on Ezekiel Elliott right now.
Marcellus,
that's what's happening.
Of all the issues the Cowboys have had over the last 10 years, none of them have been cultural. None of them. I covered the team. You played for the team. You've covered the team. We all know the team. It's America's team, quote unquote. Of all the issues the Cowboys have had, they had health at quarterback for a while when Tony Romo was depleted. They had defensive secondary talent issues. They had pass rush issues before DeMarcus Lawrence started balling. Of all the issues the Cowboys have had, we've never mentioned culture as a problem for the Dallas Cowboys as of late.
Is it?
And now it is a problem.
Is it? Has it been?
It has not been in the years past. Who dictates the culture?
Jerry Jones. Out there.
You're not wrong.
Okay,
I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie. You're not entirely wrong.
Stop that.
But Mike McCarthy plays a big role and a big factor in the culture of this team. If now you're going to use words like culture, if now we have to use words like culture because you got players calling out coaches, you got coaches, mind you, calling out players. If now we're going to talk about cultural issues, where does culture come from? It comes from, yes, Jerry Jones, but it comes from the coach.
But it also comes from the fact that guys go there, and I played for the Dallas Cowboys, and I could talk about the enormous amount of benefits and the enormous amount of love you get no matter what you do. As soon as you put the star on your helmet, everyone loves you more. It's like I was in the NFL already for 7, 8 years, but it's like I finally arrived just being a Dallas Cowboy. And that was one of my worst years, but still, it's something about that culture, something about that star power that gets to these players. As you said, they cash in and then they check out, right? That's what's happening. But I'm not even going to blame Jerry Jones. I'm sticking to you because Jerry ain't across the table from me like you are. Kyle Shanahan, one of the brightest offensive minds in the game.
Absolutely.
When he first got to San Francisco, how many games did he win in his first 2 years? 10 total. 10 total.
Yeah, but he got hurt.
But according to you, oh, Dak Prescott got hurt. See, that's what I'm talking about. You're walking into these traps. Here's the thing. Just have patience, Acho. I know, 29 and 45. I know I won't fight for you, and you will fight for me. We got different testosterone levels, big dog, but trust your boy on this one. Just wait this one out.
Do it.
Mike McCarthy's the man for the job. Coming up at the top of the hour, we got more on Mike McCarthy. We'll tell you if we're buying the Cowboys endorsement for their head coach. But first, former quarterback Jeff Garcia, my boy, ripped Cam Newton, my dog, for his post-game wardrobe. Reggie Bush will help us answer if we have an issue with the criticism. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai.
Welcome back to Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Let's talk about Cam Newton, who had a game to forget on Sunday. He threw for under 100 yards and was pulled in the second half after his third interception. Now, after the blowout loss, the 49ers, Cam dressed like, well, Cam for the post-game presser. That didn't sit well with former Pro Bowl quarterback Jeff Garcia, who had a huge issue with Cam's wardrobe after a bad performance. Y'all take a listen.
You go into this game, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. You throw, 3 more interceptions? You get yanked in the second half? There's nothing good going your way. Why are you dressing like that to bring more attention to yourself? I'd be trying to ask the equipment managers, put me in your jock sock cart and sneak me in the back door, and I'll show up on the field and do the best that I can.
Man, now Cam took the high road and said Garcia's criticism was fair, but added, quote, "I'm not changing the way I dressed." Despite the hoodie that he's wearing, I had to bring in Reggie Bush because my dog is usually fashion forward.
Hello.
But everybody takes a day off, I guess.
Kanye.
Everybody gets comfortable, Marcellus. If you accomplish enough things in life, you come on national television in, just a hoodie. It's fine. It's fine. No judgment. Big Bro Sal, you up first. Do you have an issue with Jeff Garcia's criticism of Cam Newton's wardrobe?
Hell yeah, I do. It's one of those takes that you have so much and so many issues with it. I don't even know where to start, but I'm just going to keep it simple. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Talk about it.
Not just true in life, but even truer in the game of football. All this whole correlation between how you look and bringing attention to yourself and how you're going to perform. Like, can we stop? I understand that Deion Sanders said, what? If you go out there and you look good, you feel good, you play good, they pay good. That works for Deion, and that works for a lot of guys. But the contrary and the opposite is not true. Like, if you don't feel good, if you don't look good, then you're not going to play good. Because let me tell you about some of these guys that I played with before. I played with some war paint guys. Y'all know them dudes, right? Walking around, oh, right, yes, coach. I was like, and then go out on the football field, wow, pillows, sorry as hell. And then I saw some dudes that you're like, you know some dudes show up in the locker room, you're like, yo, we got a game today. Can you at least dress up for the moment? Yeah, whatever. Reading comic books before the game, on their phone the whole damn pregame, laughing, laying down on the floor just with a towel on. You're like, dog, are you ever gonna ramp up for this moment?
And then the game start.
Boy, when that game start, that ball kicked off. Hammer! Here he comes. So I just don't like this link between outside appearance and actually the performance that's happening between the white lines.
Fellas, I thought we was past this. Jeff Garcia, one of those get off my lawn type of guys. I thought we was past this. I mean, think about this. Cam Newton's not necessarily attracting attention to himself just because you are that attention. Just because you look don't mean they attracting the attention. It's your fault that you were distracted. Like, think about this. Remember last year, the Houston Texans linebackers, they came as Mortal Kombat guys. They dressed as a SWAT team. They came out here in costumes. They were literally trying to attract attention, wearing costumes. Cam Newton's just wearing three-piece fitted suits. Jeff Garcia, it's not your fault if that is unfamiliar territory. See, to someone like me, Marcellus, to someone like me, Reggie, I don't think anything of it. I seen one of Cam Newton's fits. I'm like, oh, that's stylish. That's something I would wear. That's literally something I did wear. Cam Newton, he rocked the yellow week 1. I said, you know what? That's low-key fresh. I had that in my repertoire. I said, I'm going to go ahead and whip that out. Colin Coward said, no one looks good in yellow besides Cam. I will challenge you, Colin. Your boy was wearing that fit. So I hate the Jeff Garcia take because how you dress really is no indictment on how you're going to play or vice versa.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. This one for me was, I thought we was past this as well, man. Like the way Cam dresses has nothing to do with his ability to win football games on Sundays. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is if you are throwing touchdowns and you scoring points and you winning football games, they would never even bring this up. Where was they at in the first 2-3 weeks Cam Newton was balling? Nobody was talking about it. Wasn't bringing up nothing like that. Now he went to coronavirus, had to come back, fighting through some adversity, has not played well, has not looked good. I'm not going to blame his suits for that. I'm going to blame Cam for that. So at the end of the day, I actually like this outfit that he was wearing.
Hey, that's what I'm saying.
Outfit he was wearing. I didn't think this was a bad one.
You've seen them all. You're like, yo, it could get a lot worse. It could be some hotter takes, Jeff Garcia, if you really want to go through that closet. It's crazy because this is an interesting conversation about attention. I like how Acho was going to this point about how much does it cost you to pay attention to somebody else? It costs you nothing. You know what? You don't have to pay attention. But if you are going to pay attention, now don't turn the tides on that person for you being distracted and paying attention to them. My sister is a fashionista, and I just show up the way I just woke up. I don't give a damn. But my sister, at first I used to think she was fake or she doing too much. I used to clown her. I'm like, damn, we just going to 7-Eleven. Can you calm down? She putting on the heels, the glitter, glam style. She ready. Soon as she leave the house, it's a presentation. But I come to realize that's who she really is. Just like I love music and nobody could talk me out of it, nobody could talk her out of going out there and feeling her best by looking her best. And speaking of music, let me give you my DJ example. I think it applies here because this is how it all turns on you guys. It's amazing that no one cares what you do until what, Acho?
You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
And now all of a sudden they want to get at Cam because the 10 turnovers in the last 3 games. The suit didn't make them do that. Them fingers and them balls thrown over the receiver's head made them do it. My DJ example was this. As a rookie, as soon as I got my first check, I bought myself DJ equipment. And then when I bought myself DJ equipment, I was spinning every day after practice. That was just my release from playing in the NFL. That was my hobby of choice. And I used to DJ all these big parties, Super Bowl parties, DJ for Kanye, Run DMC back in the days, Outkast, you name it, I DJ for the parties. And I used to DJ the owners' parties as well. Like the owner of my team, literally, Marcellus, can you DJ my party? Oh, yeah, excited for me. But that's when I was balling and climbing up that ladder. And as soon as I hit that wall and then started to come down the ladder, you know what they started to say to me?
What they say?
Man, if Marcellus wasn't DJing and distracted so much by all this DJing, then maybe he will be better on the field. You dirty son of a... What? I've been DJing with that on my back climbing up the mountain, but now they're going to say that's the jetpack that's taking me down the mountain at warp speed. Crazy how they flip on you.
My thing, Marcellus and Reggie, y'all hit the nail on the head. Jeff Garcia was waiting for this one. Because if you were going to attack one of Cam's outfits, if you were going to attack this fashion, that wasn't the day to do it. Like, that was actually basic. You know what I'm saying? Here's my thing. Garcia, you want Cam Newton to wear a banker suit? Like, you want him to look like a bank teller? Is that what you asking for? Think about it. It's Cam being Cam. I have to say this as I kind of wind down my thoughts on the matter. We got to get past a point in our society where we diminish other people for doing things that are unfamiliar to us. We got to get past that point where it's like, what you're doing is unfamiliar to me, so I'm going to diminish what you're doing. Not because what you're doing is actually a distraction, not because what you're doing is actually a detraction, but because what you're doing is unfamiliar to me, so I have a problem with it. I submit there's actually nothing wrong with what Cam Newton is doing. How Cam Newton dresses, I ain't got an issue with it. Reg ain't got an issue with it. What it sounds like, Sal ain't got an issue with it. I wonder why. I'm not going to try to find the underlying reasonings and the underlying variables, but all I'm going to say is we ain't got an issue with it. Why? Because it's familiar to me. You look at Reg, it might be familiar to him and Sal. So stop diminishing what someone else is doing, Jeff Garcia, just because it is not familiar to you.
Hey, man, listen, there's not really much else to say other than that, bro. You really capped it off perfectly, man. So, yeah, Jeff, do better next time, man.
Hey, man, like, if he seen my Uncle Cardell in '83 used to look like Cam Plus, like, and have some of that.
Hey, your sister was getting dressed to go 7-Eleven for real?
Yeah, it's a real thing.
Now, there
you go. You unfamiliar with it. Hold on. You gonna have some criticism about something you unfamiliar with?
Slurpees hit. So them Slurpees hit. I would get dressed for a Slurpee, too. I'm not gonna lie.
But see, that's the beautiful thing about it. We have to go deeper in the assessment. It's not just for our interpretation. It's for their realization. Like, they feel good. Like, what looks good doesn't depend on us. It depends on what they feel good in. Just like Reggie felt good in the hoodie. I felt good in the OG Crip suit. And you felt good being Grimace today. It doesn't matter how you're taking it.
What is Grimace?
It's about
what is Grimace? What is Grimace? I don't know what Grimace is.
Damn, we got to go to break. You don't know who Grimace is?
Who is Grimace?
Barney. You know who Grimace is?
I know Barney.
Okay, well, Grimace came before Barney. Damn it.
I was born in 1990, Marcellus.
Yeah,
stop aging yourself.
And McDonald's has been around longer than you and still
go to break.
Top
dog. Go to break.
Coming up, this dude don't know who Grimace is. The Patriots and Cowboys are both struggling this season. But we'll tell you which team is in the worst situation. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by Hyundai. Are you serious?
I don't know who Grimace is.
What? Tonight, don't miss the debut of the Spring League, an elite professional football development league featuring some of the biggest names from the top college programs in the country. It all starts tonight at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Spring League will feature former Big Ten standouts J.T. Barrett, Shea Patterson, as well as other top prospects. It's all going down tonight and tomorrow night on FS1. I chose more football. You can't go wrong with that.
Football's like dessert, bro. You can never have enough.
Hell yeah, and it's been good to us. Let's just say that. All right, speaking of football, let's head back to the NFL where the Patriots and Cowboys are struggling big time with a combined 4-9 record. Yup. New England is coming off their worst loss at home in the Bill Belichick era and have lost 3 straight games. In Dallas, the Cowboys were blown out Sunday by Washington and lost Andy Dalton in the third quarter with a concussion without a fight. If that wasn't enough, their defense has allowed the most points in the NFL. So, Acho, who's in the worst situation this season? Patriots or Cowboys?
Man. Cowboys, bro. Cowboys in a terrible situation.
You hate home.
No, I don't. I love born and raised in Dallas. 214, you know what I'm saying? Still my cell phone number, area code, all that. Honestly, I'm probably a bitter critic because I care more.
I love that.
That's probably really what it is. I'm probably a bitter critic of the Cowboys because I care more about the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are in a worse situation, Marcellus, because you don't have a quarterback. You don't have a defensive coordinator. You don't have defensive backs that you need to play at a top tier. And you were one of the worst teams in the worst divisions in football. The Cowboys, Marcellus, as I look at it, they don't have any real relief coming. If you don't have a quarterback, then CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, they are all rendered to a degree useless because you don't have anyone to utilize their abilities. The job of a quarterback, get the ball into the hands of the playmakers, unless the quarterback himself is a playmaker, a la Cam Newton.
Yeah.
The Cowboys' other issue at hand is they don't have a coach that the players believe in. At least when you look at the Patriots and Bill Belichick, you're going to look around and say, well, we're struggling right now, 2-3 for the first time since 2000. We got issues. Cam Newton has been playing bad. But we're still going to listen to you, Bill Belichick, because we believe in you. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, they have uttered it themselves that they don't necessarily believe in their coach. I think because you got coaching issues, you got player issues, you have talent health issues, Dallas Cowboys are in a terrible situation, especially compared to the Patriots.
We're on opposite sides of this table because we're on opposite sides of this argument. And as you can look at your table, I can see that you are hella OCD. That is a phone, that is a computer, and those are notes. Now look at me. Scattered over here. It look a mess, but it's organized confusion. But it's
organized chaos.
Yes. I'm over here saying it's the Patriots in the worst situation. Acho, I asked you a question. Rhetorical, but let's answer it. Would you rather be 3 back in the win column or tied in the win column with the division leader? Which one?
Tied.
Oh, who's tied? Oh, the Cowboys are tied. Oh, okay. Acho, would you rather be a team that has the easiest schedule going forward or any of the other teams that have a more difficult schedule? That includes teams like the Ravens, the Rams, and the Cardinals.
Without context, the easiest schedule. I answer the question.
Simple.
I answer the question.
Like your simple desk over there. Okay. My point is this. It's not so much about who they are. It's about what they have to endure, what they have to face. And let's talk about who they are. Which one has a more talented roster, even through the injuries? If you want to look at it pre-injury, Pro Football Focus ranked the rosters. Cowboys were ranked 6th. Patriots, 18th. And that was before they had the league-high COVID opt-outs. Woo, you add all that up. All right, here's some trivia. Here's some fun fact. The Cowboys drafted CeeDee Lamb in the first round. Who did the Patriots draft? Anybody?
Love.
Patriots.
Oh, Patriots.
No, don't answer this because we all gonna look bad. I didn't even know. And matter of fact, they didn't even have a first-round pick. Here they go. In the second round, they get safety Cal Duggar from a school I can't even pronounce, Leaner Rhine or something. Here's the point. Y'all have worse talent and a harder road in front of you. And Cam Newton, despite his suits, is actually not playing up to Cam Newton abilities. Y'all got a tougher road, bro.
The road is not the road only matters, Marcellus, depending upon who's traversing that road.
Oh,
the driver, the walker, the runner, whatever. Okay. It's not about the road. It's about who's traveling that road. What do I mean? Dallas Cowboys might have the easiest remaining schedule, but Fox Bet Live has them as an underdog in every remaining game. Ooh. Keep this, Marcellus. Damn. The Cowboys are not supposed to win any more games on their schedule.
Until they do.
The Cowboys, Marcellus, are going to go into every game saying, dang, we're the underdog. Like, there's not a game that if we play like we play and the opponent plays like they play, that we should win. Bro, the Patriots at least have the Jets twice, I believe. I don't think they've seen them yet. What? So at least the Patriots going to have 2 gimmies. The Cowboys, Marcellus, are going to go into every game realizing, dang, we should lose. But also, get this. What? The Cowboys have allowed their opponents to reach season-high point totals in the last 3 games. Outside of the Washington game, week 4 against the Browns. Browns had their season high. Week 5 against the Giants. Giants had their season high. Week 6 against the Cardinals. Cardinals had their season high. Week 7 against Washington, the football team. They had their season high outside of week 1. The Cowboys, if you played them, you become a Pro Bowler, Marcellus. You would have had so many more Pro Bowls. I might have got a second contract had I been able to play a team as dysfunctional as these Cowboys. So it's not even a comparable conversation. The Cowboys, it doesn't matter how easy their road is, they cannot travel that road. Not my words. Listen to Vegas.
Oh, well, Vegas is wrong, and that's why people keep going to Vegas hoping that they're wrong, betting that Vegas is wrong. Even though Vegas is going to be right more than it's wrong and help build more casinos because of losers like you, they still get it wrong sometimes. Let's talk about that road ahead because when I assess a trip, I always say, how long is the trip? How long is the road ahead? And what's the terrain? What are the obstacles, the adversity that I have to face on that? So I talked about the Cowboys having the easiest schedule, but also within that schedule, you get to play the Giants again. All right, we know we can get another win on the Giants. Washington again. Okay, come on. We're not going to lose to Washington again, Are we?
You might.
Well, these are the conversations we might have, and we'll see how it plays out. But you get to play the division leader twice, and it matters. It means something. The division leader has the same amount of wins as you. You beat them twice. Oh, is that a 2-game or 1.5-game lead on the same division leader? You don't have that scenario out there with the Patriots.
problem, Marcellus, is truly just with your hypothetical. I don't fault the hypothetical because if you're a Cowboys fan wearing blue, and I don't think your shade of blue you're wearing is synonymous with Cowboys
Jerry Jones blue right
but
here.
You have to be optimistic. But be real. Last year when the Cowboys had a healthy Dak Prescott, when the Cowboys had everything to play for, they knew they had to beat Philadelphia, the division leader at the time, Week 16. They lost then. Now you're going to roll out Ben DiNucci? A 7th-round pick from where? Was it James Madison?
Just DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci?
Yuck.
You're going to roll him out and hope to beat the Eagles? You're going to roll out, what, Andy Dalton at the end of the season and hope to beat the Eagles, who will likely be the division leader, if not for Washington, the football team? It's just, there's not really any hope even, Marcelo. If I'm a Cowboys fan, if I'm a Cowboys fan, what do I have to hope in? I can't hope in my defense. I can't hope in my head coach. I can't hope in my offensive line. I can't hope in my quarterback. I genuinely have nothing to hope in. Are you going to move Amari Cooper to quarterback?
Man, look.
Run the Wildcat every play with Zeke?
See, you keep getting me into this conversation of rhetoric, and I'm not having that. You keep talking about hypotheticals. I'm not having that. I have numbers. I have facts. I have data.
What? You have no meaningful
evidence.
data.
Oh, really? Well, total offense, what are you guys ranked? Patriots. 24th. What are the Cowboys ranked? 3rd. And that's because of Andy Dalton. They were first.
Offense sells tickets. Defense does what? You know the phrase.
What's the phrase?
Wins championships.
You really? Why can't City win the championship then?
And defense
wins the championship. How old are you? What are you doing? Black and white TV. Hey, baby, look at that. Oh, my God. Look at that defense out there keeping them. That doesn't work anymore. All right, so we have a better offense in Dallas. Better scoring offense. God, I wondered. Patriots got them there. No. Oh, no. What about pass offense? Because this is a passing league. Oh, no. Even when you start talking about defense, a Belichick defense in the passing game, because that's what the game is. Y'all are ranked 11th, and guess who's ranked 12th? Sneaking up there, right there, in terms of when these teams try to throw it over the top. Dallas Cowboys are a little bit mid-pack, a little better than that, above average. The point is, you can go into the hypothetical betting game, you can go in your mind game, or you can look at some data. The data suggests that the Cowboys' easier path and actually more talented, better team.
Marcellus, let me take you here. The Cowboys, there's 60 minutes in every football game. The Cowboys have played 7 football games. That means the Cowboys have played a total of 420 minutes of football. 60 minutes in a game, 7 games. The Cowboys have played 420 minutes of football.
Man, homie.
Marcellus, 188 of those minutes, the game hasn't even been one possession.
I know. I saw it on one of these notes.
The game hasn't even been a one-possession game, Marcellus, for 188 minutes. 45% of Cowboys games, it's not even a one-possession game. They're not even close. It's not like you can say, Marcellus, okay, if the Cowboys just fix the running game, they'll be winning. If the Cowboys just stop turning the ball over, if the Cowboys just do this on defense, Marcellus, as a Cowboys, not fan, but as a Cowboys person, they're not close.
They're not close?
They're not even close.
What are the Patriots? In the first 3 games, 3 turnovers. Last 3 games, 10 turnovers. Oh, what must you win to win a football game? The turnover battle. That's pretty much
Who's the better team, the Cowboys or the Patriots?
You love going here. You just
can't answer.
Look, I can't answer. But I'm over here cooking some eggs, and you're like, where the bacon at? I'm like, the bacon takes longer. Let me finish these eggs. If I don't pay attention to the eggs, they're going to burn, and then we're going to burn bacon. All right, who's the better team? After I read this stat, because the stat might take me somewhere. Y'all have went, the Patriots, 3 straight games where you walk into the stadium, hey, hon, look at this. All right, we about to see Tom Brady in the... Oh, Tom Brady ain't there. Okay, no, Cam Newton. We're all right. Can't wait for Cam to go out there. 3 straight games where you sat down, had a beer, sitting there with the wife, watching this offense go out there, and then it's halftime. And you're like, baby, let's go get some more beer. She's like, what's the score? Well, I know that the Patriots haven't scored in the first half in the last 3 games. You've had more beers than the Patriots have put up in points in the first half the last 3 games. Now, let me answer your question since I already stalled long enough.
Thank you.
Which team is better?
Correct.
Which team is better is the question. Okay.
Hey, whenever they repeat the question, they're lying.
Look, we going back to Vegas? I'm betting on the Patriots being a better team. The problem is, you could be the Cleveland Browns are better than the Patriots, and the Dallas Cowboys. Cleveland Browns find themselves in the same position, if not worse, than the Patriots and Cowboys. They are 2 games back in their division, 3rd place, and they got mollywopped by the Steelers and the Ravens. So there's no climbing up for even a team that's better than them. So to answer your question, Patriots are better, but the road ahead is much tougher.
It's fair, but if you're a better team, which the Patriots are, and you have a better coach, which the Patriots do.
Yes,
and you have a better playmaker in Cam Newton, which the Patriots do. Not playing well, but he is a playmaker.
All 3.
That leads me to believe that the Patriots have better odds of winning games. The Cowboys, bro, even if the Cowboys aren't winning the division. Let me just stop. I said the Cowboys were going to win the division 2 weeks ago before they played the Giants, and Dak got hurt. Then Dak gets hurt, and I'm like, I'm out. Okay. I was riding with Dak. Dak was my trump card. Dak was my draw forward. Dak was my big joker. I lost it. It's burned. It's now in the discard pile. The Cowboys aren't going to win the division. No. You know that as well as I know that. So regardless of what this conversation comes down to, they don't have a chance.
I disagree with you there because our track backgrounds lets us know that it's about who you're racing if you're going to win that race. Look, are you the fastest in the school, Acho? I don't know, but can you beat everybody in your class? Yes. All you have to do in the NFL is just beat everybody in your class. Then you get to another competition, and we'll have that opportunity to discuss later. Coming up, we'll be joined by the NFL's leading rusher, Titan star, Derrick Henry. Oh, I just felt that stiff arm from way off camera. Don't go anywhere. That's my dog. It's next. Speak for yourself. Do you have a problem with Cowboys players not sticking up for Andy?
Rule number 1. Rule number 2. It's rule number 3 of football is defend, protect your quarterback. It's sick. I was sick. I was sick.
You actually measure heart, but if I have your back, which I'm not that type of person. If we go out there and scrap for Andy Dalton, is that going to make Andy Dalton slide sooner next time?
Let me ask you this, bro, because I got to find out what kind of guy you are. Me and you, we finished the show, we walking outside the street. All of a sudden, I get jumped. You just gonna sit there and look at me. You're not gonna come in.
No. First of all, where's my cell phone?
I don't want your cell phone.
First of all, you said dudes. All of me needs to get all home. And for my family. I don't know what the hell you did. What if this is some old bitch that I ain't got no part of? And all of a sudden,
I'm ashamed of you right now, Sam. I'm ashamed of you.
Watch it, speak for yourself. Presented by Hyundai. No, we're not up here fighting, and no, we're never going to go fight anywhere out there. Marcel Swally, Emmanuel Acho in the building, big dog. Let's head back to Dallas for our big story. Mike McCarthy has a 2-5 record in his first season with the Cowboys. He was called out along with his coaching staff last week by anonymous players, and his team's effort was questioned after Sunday's blowout loss to Washington. Despite the slow start, Cowboys executive Stephen Jones gave McCarthy a vote of confidence Monday, saying, quote, "I know we've got the right head guy for the job, and it's a work in progress. These things just take time. I know our fans are frustrated. We certainly understand the criticism that comes our way. We've just got to give them their opportunity to work with these guys and continue to implement what they're trying to get accomplished." So, Acho, are you buying the Cowboys feel this way about Mike McCarthy?
Not at all, man. I think I've been lied to a lot of times in my life, Marcellus, by a lot of people close to me. I can tell a lie when I hear one.
Oh, really?
Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, everyone who was trying to act as though they are instilling faith in Mike McCarthy, they're lying to me. And they're lying to you. I just hope that before these next 10 or 15 minutes over when we go to commercial, you understand that. Why is he not the right guy for the job? Because if you have 15 months to prepare for something, which Mike McCarthy had after he was fired, let go, they parted ways with the Packers, you should be ready for that. Marcellus, you don't have to deal with this because you have several Teslas. You remind me every day. But for those of us that actually have to put gas in our cars, if I go to the gas
Dinosaurs.
station, okay? If I go to the gas station and I sit there at the pump and I fill up my car, when I pull out the gas station, how do I run out of gas quickly? I shouldn't. Mike McCarthy had 15 months to fill up his football tank, to fill up his mental tank. He studied analytics. He said he looked back at his play calling. He said he wasn't going to make the same mistakes he had. Yet, Marcellus, 2, 3, 4 weeks into the Cowboy season, he has already run out of gas. That told me initially he's not the right guy for the job. I know that. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones know that. Right now, they're just biding their time. What are we going to do? We can't fire him in the middle of the season. Who are we going to promote? Our defensive coordinator? Can't do that. Who are we going to promote? Our 31-year-old offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore? I think he's 31. We went to the draft the same year. Can't be that old. Who are we going to promote? Him? They don't have options. So Jerry Jones is saying, I'm just going to ride this out because I have nowhere to turn.
Man, I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
Do people ever disagree half-heartedly?
Yeah. Because sometimes we actually get into a new place and we be like,
That's fair.
okay, I don't want to. When we're debating, it's wholeheartedly. When we're having a conversation, it's half-heartedly. Wholeheartedly time. Get ready to debate Acho right now. I'm buying what they're selling right now. One thing I learned through all of my years on this planet, which almost double yours, is that you never tell somebody how they feel. One, don't get into an argument about how they feel, because you don't know that explicitly. And another thing I don't want to get into an argument about is if someone is lying or not, because they've lied before. You've lied before too, Acho. I got texts, I got receipts, I got some things. I knew you before you came over here to Foxland. And you used to say some things that weren't necessarily as accurate as you want to present them, but you know what? Let bygones be bygones. Here's a situation where you're talking about how you run out of fuel so fast from filling it up at the gas station.
I don't know.
I did that one time. Had a Hummer, and it's supposed to have diesel. You know me, I'm caught up. I'm looking at some girl. Hey, put unleaded in there. Start riding down the street. It happens, all I'm saying. I don't know rhyme or reason in this situation why it's happening, but let's break this down, who the man is in this situation. We have someone in Mike McCarthy, who I keep bringing up his resume, that says if you stick with Mike McCarthy, he's going to turn your situation from rags to riches. 4-12 team when he got to Green Bay, Super Bowl champions in 5 years. And you saw them getting better basically every single year. Now, how do they get better in this situation? One, get my quarterback back. Where's Dak Prescott? You seen him? I haven't seen him. Is he at that gas station where you're filling up? I have not seen Dak Prescott. Oh, he's the only starter this year that was lost to a season-ending injury. Gone. QB1, gone. QB2, gone for at least a week or so. So now we're in a situation, okay, let's lean on our running game because we have Ezekiel Elliott. Oh, we can't. Why? Because our offensive line is down to its last starter, and Ezekiel Elliott is down to, I don't know who he is in comparison to who he was. So then you look defensively, and this defense is one of the worst defenses we've seen in NFL history. Now, you're trying to tell me that Mike McCarthy, this is all landing on your lap because it's all occurring on his watch. But Mike McCarthy walked into a perfect storm, if you want to say that, or imperfect storm of all of these issues coming at one single time. Will it ever get this bad for the Dallas Cowboys going forward? No. And the Dallas Cowboys are still, in terms of wins, tied for first place. You got to play Philly twice. This is not the time to panic. This is the time to now hold on. It's going to get bumpy, but this is a team that can still go out there and make the playoffs.
Marcellus, the only thing worse than the Cowboys' defense is your defense of the Cowboys.
I'll give you some of that.
That's the only thing worse than the Cowboys' defense,
but
is your defense of them boys. I look at it like this.
I hear you.
You know when you have introduced someone, a significant other, potential partner to your parents, you're invested, but the relationship goes sour. You're now stuck in this bad relationship. You can't really break up with them because you've already gone public. You posted pictures on social media. Y'all the Instagram official. Everybody's looking at y'all at a beacon of light. That's where Jerry Jones is now with Mike McCarthy. They started their relationship with the sleepover. He spent the night at my house. I made my bed with them. That's how they started their relationship. Now Jerry Jones is like, dang, we gone public. I can't really break up with them or the whole world is going to make me out to be an idiot. That's the only reason he's still stuck in this. The whole world would make Jerry Jones out to be a fool. Jason Garrett lasted for 8, 9, 10 years.
Yeah.
And 8 and 8 because Jerry Jones had an affinity to Jason Garrett. Jerry Jones has shown us he has a propensity to let coaches overstay their welcomes. Mike McCarthy, even already at 7 weeks, I'm starting to question if he has overstayed his welcome. The reason is the only bright spot of the Cowboys season.
Half-hearted.
Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. I would say the bright spot of the Cowboys season, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. But you could argue that Dak Prescott wasn't really a bright spot. And the reason you could argue that is quarterbacks that throw over 400 yards, their winning percentage is roughly 40%. 42 or so percent. So as great as Dak Prescott statistically was, you could actually make the great argument that his success had an inverse relationship to the Cowboys' success. So even the one thing that Mike McCarthy has done well this season has an inverse relationship to success for the team. That's why he's not the right guy for the job. And Jerry Jones is trying to tell us that in so many words. Blink twice, Jerry, if you want us to know you want to get rid of Mike McCarthy. Let's do it.
No. Here's the brighter spot than even what you just said. Explain how the league's most explosive offense, potentially with Dak Prescott, now has only scored 13 points in the last 2. That just shows and highlights that it's not about coaching. It's about the player. And that's the situation Dallas is facing. Coming up, we'll be joined by the NFL's leading rusher, Titan star Derrick Henry. Don't go anywhere. Next, speak for yourself. Stiff arm time. Welcome back to Speak for Yourself. Our next guest is one of the bright young stars in NFL. Titans running back Derrick Henry. Pro Bowler, leads the NFL in rushing yards and touchdowns since the start of last year and is averaging a league-leading 110.5 yards a game this season. Give him that half yard. Let's welcome in Derrick to the show. Big dog, we've seen all sports out there doing their part and trying to thrive in this turbulent year. But Derrick, it's been a rough year in terms of what the world's experiencing, but what's your football experience been so far this season?
I mean, we had a little hiccup. Was just happy everybody got back healthy, got back together as a team, and back to playing football. Like you said, it's just been a crazy world, this whole year. But I feel like every team's doing a good job to stay healthy and stay safe this season, just so we can play football. But being back to football is always fun, especially being with your teammates.
Respect it. I love it. Derrick, let's talk football then. You break through the line of scrimmage. You put enough people on your highlight tape to make for 20-minute YouTube videos. What's going through your mind when you see the defensive back and it's just you and him? What's going through Derrick Henry's mind at that moment?
Got to get 6. It's one-on-one. You in the DB. You got to either run through him, make a miss, and get 6 points, get a touchdown.
It's that simple. Now, some people don't say that you run harder when you're facing a defensive back as opposed to when you're running through the line of scrimmage. That was really hot last week. Sounded a little bit crazy to me, but I've yet to hear your rebuttal. What would you say to those people who say Derrick Henry runs harder against smaller guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really get into the talking game. I mean, people will always have something to say. I just play my game, continue to do what I do, help my team win games. I feel like at our position, you have to be physical. You can't shy away from contact. So, I can't really get into the he say, she say. But, I mean, I feel like you have to be physical in my position, whether if you want to or not.
Yeah, that's real, Derrick. I mean, can you take us into the mental approach? I know you can't see it right now, but I was a Pop Warner sensation at running back, big dog.
Don't believe him, Derrick. Don't believe him,
I got film.
Don't believe him.
Hey, Derrick, I got video. Derrick, first of all, look at it. Hey, forget the teeth. Hey, we ain't have a dental plan. All right, watch this, Derrick Henry. First of all, look at your boy right here. Catch that sweep. That's me, D. Watch me, D. Watch me, D.
Yes, sir.
Out the gate.
Sir.
Look like you. But just
yes, sir.
300
yes,
pounds
sir.
ago. But here's the point. Here's my conversation. The mental approach, Derrick, of running to the line of scrimmage versus breaking through the line of scrimmage. Take us through that process, because a lot of people don't understand that you don't have to run full speed every second of the play. Like, you have to set up the play as well. Take us through that process.
Yeah, you just got to, make your reads. And then, take what the defense gives you. And then when you see a little crease, you hit that seam getting up and south, and being physical. And then, we all know this is a tough league. I mean, every week, week in and week out, you got to bring it. And I think make your read. Whatever defense gives you, you take it. And then eventually those 1 to 2 to 3 yard runs turn to 6, 7, and then you'll get a house call. But don't try to too much, but take what defense give you.
Hey, I love how casually you say it. You get a house call. You make it sound so easy. But let's talk about this, man. Everybody talks about the scat back, the scat back, the scat back. Oh, I want a scat back. But Derrick, it seems like you the last of a dying breed. Big, physical, every down, I'm just going to run through your face and run over you type of running back. Do you feel like you're the last of a dying breed when it comes to big physical running backs in the NFL?
I just feel like it's a lot of guys that are dual threat and that are doing a good job, that's been effective, that's had much success. But I feel like over here we just have an identity of, want to be physical, want to dominate the line of scrimmage, and want to continue to run the ball and be effective. And on my part, I just have to do my job by doing that, by being physical, using my size to my advantage, getting the tough yards, running through defenders, and just doing it at a high level. I mean, like you said, there's not really many backs that's my size in the game right now. So, like I said, I just try to take full advantage of it as much as I can while I'm playing.
I got you. Well, let's talk about your teammates' success as well. You said on the Maybe I'm Crazy podcast with Joy Taylor that we got to start an MVP campaign for your quarterback. That's my quarterback, Ryan Tannehill. Should his name be mentioned in the same breath as Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes?
I mean, I was just saying that Ryan been playing good football, man. He's a great leader for us. He's doing a great job for us. He's been balling out, and she was asking me, should I be in the conversation? I was like, anybody?
That's all I heard.
should be Ryan Tannehill by the way he's playing and leading our team, and if anybody deserves that, I think he does. But the guys who are definitely in the conversation definitely deserve to be in that conversation.
All right, you guys made the AFC Championship game last season, and this year started off 5-1. What's the difference between last year's team, this year's squad?
Yeah, we definitely appreciate last year. Did a lot of great things as far as us as a team. Not trying to leave that in the past. Last year was last year, and new team, new approach. We've been starting off well, playing well as a team. Want to build all the things that we've been doing good, and get better at things that we know we need to get better at. And that's just week after week. What Coach preaches about is preparing the right way, growing and improving, and never staying the same week after week, continuing to get better. We know in this league it's hard to win games, and we just want to continue to grow and get better as a team.
Now, we can see the backdrop. You got to tell us about your work with Old Spice.
Definitely excited. Finally got an opportunity. Old Spice worked with a lot of superstars, throughout this game, and had great commercials that I watched, since I was a kid. And I'm very blessed and happy to be able to star in the commercial, which is right now on YouTube, the Unstoppable Sweat Defense campaign. Starting the commercial, and happy to get the opportunity. We use Old Spice here in the locker room, the Titans locker room, and the Old Spice product is definitely all around the NFL in each stadium. And the Old Spice Sweat Defense gives you confidence to go through anything that comes your way on and off the field. Just happy to team up with Old Spice, have the commercial. Hope everybody like it, and it's definitely cool to be a part of it.
Well, handle anything that comes your way. Them defenders need to put some Old Spice on to handle you, man. That's a tough one. Give me my fan man moment quickly. Height, weight, and your 40, because I am a fan.
So you say you want my height, weight, and my 40?
Yeah, give it to us.
Probably about 6'2.5", 6'3", probably about 247.
Damn.
40, probably about a 4'1".
That's right, with that Old Spice on, boy. You can't even time it. Thanks, Derrick, man. Appreciate you, big dog. Keep beasting out there. All right, bro. Coming up, Tom Brady's Bucs are rolling right now. 4-1, he said, huh? Former Saint Reggie Bush will tell us if the new Kings in the NFC South are in Tampa. Next, Speak for Yourself, presented by
Welcome back to
Hyundai.
Speak for Yourself. Let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are in first place in the NFC South after a 5-touchdown performance by Tom Brady. Tampa is 5-2 and just got more weapons for Brady by signing Antonio Brown. But their rivals in New Orleans have won the division's 3 straight season, and they've won 3 straight games in a row. They did beat the Bucs back in week 1. Reggie Bush, the biggest Saints defendant, is back to defend his Saints and sit upon his throne.
Look like a defendant.
Marcel, if you talk to me, have the Bucs officially ended the Saints divisional chokehold?
Yeah, it's a wrap. Let it go. Like that.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Reggie, let it go. Like those 3 years were your window. That was the window. And then Tom Brady arrived in Tampa as the cherry on top of a very talented team, especially defensively. The only argument I am anticipating from Reggie Bush or anybody is, oh, well, Michael Thomas comes back and the offense starts to click and Emmanuel Sanders is not like in his first game, like when they played in week 1, then everything's going to roll. We're going to see the old Saints. I'm here to tell you that the old Saints and the new Saints are not going to be enough to beat the Tampa Bay Bucs that are learning on the fly and will fly higher than the Saints. Let's bring up a little full screen right here of how the stars fall, because this was the week 1 outing, which everyone, we talk about, oh, well, Tom Brady in his first week on a new team, new situation, new system, goes out there and loses to the Saints. But look in detail how the stars perform. Drew Brees, 18 for 30, 160. Michael Thomas, oh, he played in that game. 3 catches, 17 yards. Alvin Kamara, 16 rush yards. Yup. Sanders, 15 yards, 3 receptions. Take that off. You know why? Because you're going against the Buccaneers defense, the 3rd-ranked defense. And this defense is nothing to sneeze at. So when you see them going forward, it's going to get even rougher for the Saints, not better. Your opportunity to take advantage was in week 1. You did. Now, if you try to put up these numbers again against that stout defense, you know the results. It's going to be a nail.
So am I supposed to go now? My turn?
Hey, the defense?
Listen, at the end of the day, until they do it, it remains to be seen. Now, I will say this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers do look very good right now. That defense looks nasty, and that defense has been nasty. They've been nasty since last year towards the end of the season, and they were really playing well. So I'm not surprised that they're playing like this. Obviously, we know why they brought Tom Brady in, because he's the GOAT, but also because he's going to protect the football, not because he's going to go out there and outduel Patrick Mahomes, who, oh, by the way, they have to see in a couple weeks as well. So they have some games coming up and some teams that they have to play against that are going to test them as well. And we'll see when they play against the Saints. Now, I would say if they had to play the Saints today, right now, yeah, they would probably beat the brakes off of them. But we'll see, and we'll see when that game comes. We'll see when that game comes how they look. Also, at the same time, you're forgetting guys getting injured. We got to make sure everybody gets through a season injury-free on that side before we can start handing them the Super Bowl trophy, Marcellus.
It's a wrap.
This is crazy, Reggie.
It's a wrap.
That's crazy. It's a different tone. America.
Reggie gone.
Just 4 weeks ago, Reggie Bush came on this show in a Saints jersey. He came on this show singing the praises of Drew Brees, Sean Payton, Darren Sproles, all the greats of Saints history.
That guy.
And today, Reggie not only comes on here in a sweatsuit, but Reggie Bush comes on here as if the Saints are over. I never thought I would see this day, Marcellus. Reggie, you were so dejected and demoralized that I don't even want to kick you while you're down. I'm going to take off my shoe, and I'm not going to kick you with the cleat, because I don't want this one to hurt, Reggie. Let me say this. All the issues we thought the Buccaneers were going to have, the Saints are having. It's crazy. We came in and said the Buccaneers are going to have chemistry issues. They have a lot of new faces on the team. Well, at the beginning of the season, the Saints are talking about trading Kamara. And then, just 2 days ago, rumors that the Saints are going to trade Michael Thomas. Okay, well, then we said, if anything, Tom Brady, he's 43. He's going to fall off a cliff. Tom Brady has 18 passing touchdowns on the season, and Drew Brees at 41, appears he's falling off the cliff. Okay, we said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they are not disciplined. If nothing else, Bruce Arians is undisciplined. Sean Payton is incredibly disciplined. But then the last 2 games, the Saints have 11 penalties, and the Buccaneers only have 4. Everything negative we thought about the Buccaneers has actually happened to the Saints. I feel bad, because I picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl. I think I picked the Saints to win the Super Bowl. I got to check the tweet. I ain't deleted that one yet because I'm still a little bit confident. But my confidence might start to wane based on Reggie Bush's waning opinions.
Reggie?
How is your opinion now changed because of what I said? Because I see exactly what Tampa Bay is doing, and I respect it. But at the end of the day, you still have to go and win the football game. You can't just be handing people W's before they actually play the football game, is all I'm saying. Nobody's saying Tampa is not nice. Tampa is nice right now in a lot of different ways. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and win the football games.
Yeah, Reggie, look, I'm over here trying to decide, are you showing a healthy respect for Tampa Bay or fear of Tampa
Sounds like
Bay.
fear to me.
And
It sounds like fear to me.
It looked like fear.
How is it
like,
fear?
I know you,
We
Reggie.
already beat him. We already beat him. How is it fear? We beat him already.
Yeah, but that's not what's most important. Now we come. Wake up there. Wake up. Let's go to work. What's going to happen
Yeah,
now?
you stuttering over there, young man.
I'm trying to figure, all right, now I'm going to put my cleats on and step on you then if you really want to do this. Tampa Bay is so much better now than this team that y'all saw week 1. Admit that, Reggie? Can we go there?
Yes, I can admit that.
Okay,
Yes, I
and
can
it's a
admit
more talented roster and bunch than what you guys have. Can you admit that?
Yes.
Okay.
We can admit
So
that.
now-
They were more talented in week 1. What happened?
No, but they didn't have continuity in week 1, and they still don't have it. You imagine seeing someone right when they're a little puppy. Like, look at this little puppy. You know, one of those big Great Danes or something. You're like, oh, this little puppy. And he gonna get big as hell. But you better right now in this moment make sure you let him know who's in control. Y'all said y'all let them know who's in control with a win. But these numbers by Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and Kamara and Sanders in that win told Tampa Bay, oh, we gonna be big dogs sooner than later, and we gonna take advantage of y'all. That's the issue. It's the forecast. It's the projection. It's not so much what they were week 1. It's about what's going forward.
Okay, but at the end of the day,
what?
like I said, I'm going to keep sticking with my argument. You keep sticking with yours. At the end of the day, they still got to see New Orleans, okay? And you're forgetting Sean Payton's ability to win football games. I know that the players play the games, right? And we talk about Drew Brees and how y'all think he's falling off a cliff, even though he had 2 touchdowns, 287, what, like
That's
114,
Acho said
15
that.
passer rating,
Yes.
80% completion percentage. How is he falling off the cliff?
Yeah,
He's
Acho, I
still
ain't
winning
believe that
football games. At the end of the day, as long as we got a quarterback named Drew Brees, we always got a chance, period.
But we got to be real, though, Reg. Drew Brees is not the same dude inside a dome as he is outside. He ain't.
I don't know about that. I've won many games with Drew Brees outside and
Yeah, back in
inside,
2009,
including the Super Bowl.
back when Drew Brees was my age,
There
you
you
did.
go.
But Drew Brees ain't the same Drew Brees, okay? Let's keep it a buck if we shall. And Marcella, stop stuttering or Reggie gonna get on you.
Reggie on my head.
Reggie on your
I'm
head
trying
right
to be
now.
nice.
Here's what I say. Drew Brees is still, he's playing at a decently high level. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, now they have the confidence, Reggie Bush, which they didn't have week 1. The Saints had a chokehold over that division, won the division 3 consecutive years. But now you not only do the Saints have to beat the Bucs, because you keep saying they got to see them, they got to see them. That's true. But they got to see everybody else, too. And the problem is, if the Saints do not get that first round bye, if the Saints don't get that 1 seed, if the Saints end up having to play on the road as a 5 seed because the Bucs win the division, I do not see the Saints, nor Drew Brees, nor anybody coming out of that 5 seed or that 6 seed to make legitimized noise, along with the fact of the Saints secondary deteriorating before our eyes. So I just don't see how you see it. I understand that the Saints got to beat, the Bucs got to see the Saints. True. But the Saints also got to see everybody else.
Yeah, I'm not into that cliche as much as it sounds. And when you say, well, you got to see us any given Sunday, you know, 1, 2, you beat the champ, you're not the champ. Like, shut up. Like, sometimes you can see a team that has went in decline, like started to lose its way to a degree. It's not Drew Brees. Like, that is exaggerated. Drew Brees right now, higher passer rating than Tom Brady, higher completion percentage. And you can look at the fact that his yards per game is right there with Tom Brady. Like, Drew Brees is not falling off a cliff. Remember the air yards conversation? How about this, that his passing yards per attempt is greater than Tom Brady's? And everybody keeps showing the highlights of Tom Brady throwing the ball down the field. My point is this. It's not just about Drew Brees. It's about the cast of characters. That cliche of, well, they got to see us. Well, when they see you, it might be a problem. I just watched a great fight. I don't know if you guys watched it as well with Lomachenko and Lopez. Did you guys see that fight? Well, that was a champion having to see another champion. And sometimes you can say, all right, well, this guy's going to win because of what sits on paper, what sits on the roster in terms of having 3 consecutive years of winning the championship in this division. Oh, they're going to win. But then when you get out there, it quickly comes to your realization that, hey, man, you ain't got enough. And I'm looking at the Saints right now, got to go against a Tampa Bay team that they don't allow you to get 100 yards rushing. When's the last time a team did that? 13 consecutive games under 100 yards rushing from another team. So we could just look at Kamara and say, I'm not going to be there. Thomas and Sanders, good luck with that. And Drew Brees, but you already faced them. And none of the stars shined in that moment. I don't see how they're going to shine next time. Coming up, the Patriots aren't doing too well without Tom Brady. Well, we'll tell you what this says about Bill Belichick next. Speak for yourself. Tonight, it's Game 6 of the World Series. Catch Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger. They lead the Dodgers, my Dodgers, against the Rays. It all begins at 7:30 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Dodgers one win away from the first World Series since 1988. Behind the bats of Corey Seager and Justin Turner, former Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell is on the mound tonight for the Rays and will try to force a Game 7. Let's get this win, Dodgers. You only have one more to go. Let's get it, Acho. Let's get back to the NFL, where the Patriots are coming off their worst home loss in the Bill Belichick era. Take me off camera, please. New England has dropped 3 straight, and Cam Newton has thrown 5 interceptions with 0 touchdown passes in 2 of those losses. Brian Gumbo up here. Their former starter, you might have heard of him, Tom Brady, has done the complete opposite. He's second in the league with 18 touchdown passes for the 5-2 Bucs. So, Acho, do the Patriots' struggles without Brady say anything about Bill Belichick the Great?
One, I'm really glad you can read.
You see that?
Because, y'all don't realize he nailed that.
Finally.
You had to read a whole page and a half.
Finally.
I'm happy for you.
The Derrick Henry part, I didn't even know that. Don't watch that part of the show.
Do the Patriots struggle say anything about Bill Belichick? They say everything about Bill Belichick.
Come on.
No, you're not going to like this
Come on,
sir.
Be nice.
I can't be nice to you. I got to be real
Take
with
your
you.
cleats off again.
They say everything about Bill Belichick. Marcellus, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were average to below average last year. They started last year below average. They ended the year's average. Right now, they're sitting as the best team in the National Football League. Ooh. You've said that. The world has kind of concluded that. Yes. The New England Patriots last year with Tom Brady, they were average to above average, made the playoffs. You could argue that they were elite, Super Bowl contention. Right now, they're one of the worst teams in the National Football League. You do not have to be a masterful artist to be able to draw that conclusion. All you got to do is have a set of eyeballs. What that told me is that Tom Brady is actually the conductor. Ooh. He might have actually been the pilot and Bill Belichick the co-pilot. No disrespect to the co-pilot. Every now and then the pilot, you know what I'm saying, he got to take a quick break. It's all good. But when you look at the fact of Tom Brady was at New England amazing. Tom Brady leaves New England not amazing. Wherever Tom Brady goes, amazing. Bruce Arians coached the Bucs last year. Bucs defense still had Levante David, still had Devin White, still had Shaq Barrett, still had Sue, still had JPP. Like, they still had all the same faces. What's different? The difference is Tom Brady. Are you really going to tell me that Gronkowski's making the difference? We've seen what retired tight ends who come back in the league do. Jason Witten. Are you really going to tell me that? Are you going to tell me Leonard Fournette made the difference? Leonard Fournette's really been riding the bench compared to Ronald Jones. Ronald Jones has gotten better. Are you going to tell me that 5'10" Scotty Miller, 6th-round draft pick, made the difference? No, Tom Brady made him. So it doesn't say anything about Bill Belichick. It says everything about Bill Belichick.
Woo! Wow.
I know you like that take.
I love that take. I'm not up here performing, bro. I love that take. That was deep and real. However, incorrect. You just had a conversation that was interesting. You just basically sold me that it was better to hold on to Tom Brady if you were Bill Belichick. Like, you should have kept the skinny goat, even, you know, he was wilting away, skinny goat versus a fat cow. You know what I'm saying? Keep the skinny goat. And I don't like that. I don't like what you did right there in terms of looking at this situation and thinking that they're equal. You made it a zero-sum conversation, and we know sports is not that, especially the ultimate team sport in football. What you did is you removed the independent variable. You removed the numerator and tried to make Belichick the common denominator of New England. But what you didn't highlight is the situations, and those are not common. Tom Brady left Bill Belichick and the Patriots for one reason. Didn't have enough talent.
That's fair.
Didn't have enough weapons.
Absolutely.
He literally left there and went to a situation that had the most talent, the most weapons. They had the most prolific duo at wide receiver last year. Oh, that's who I'm going to throw to. And then add other pieces. So when you talk about Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, you can't compare the Patriots roster to the Tampa Bay roster. Tampa Bay's roster destroys what the Patriots were. But they never destroyed them on the field because they didn't have Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. So that's the issue right here. Let me clear that up. Now, since we're here, let's talk about how senseless this argument is in terms of who's winning the divorce right now to micro-assess this so early. We're looking at two guys, Belichick and Brady, that are on different schedules, and they are at different speeds. Almost a tortoise and a hare. You remember that cartoon? You ever watched that?
I remember that one.
And who won all the races, the cartoons I watched?
The slower one? Didn't the slower one win?
What's slower than the tortoise and the hare? The tortoise won. You know why the tortoise won? Because he had time, and he thought about it. He was calculated. Think about this. How long is Bill Belichick going to coach? You don't know. I would bet longer than Tom Brady's going to play, right? And then let's talk about the speeds in which you have to go, because you only have this much time to perform if you're Tom Brady. Hit the ground running. Great. That's cute. Oh, Acho loves you after week 7. We don't know how this season's going to play out. We don't know how the rest of his career is going to play out. But before it's over, Belichick can look over there, rack up all the accomplishments Brady has in Tampa and say, oh, I still got about 10 more years of doing this. Good luck to you in that race. This is not a conversation to have after week 7, but if you want to anoint him, you want to crown him, crown his ass.
Marcellus, what I love about you, sir, is you find the good in a bad argument and you replay it.
You know
it's
me.
like you watch a bad movie, but it's one good 5-minute scene, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to suffer through this movie for the scene. That's how I feel about that take you just gave me. It was a terrible take, but I was like, I'm going to just suffer through the fact that Bill Belichick is going to coach longer than Tom Brady plays. That's what you keep re-racking, and unfortunately, I got to keep watching the same old movie.
Part of it.
Well, I'm shutting your movie off, Marcellus. Here's what I'm going to say. More games in the NFL, and you know this, they're lost than they are won.
Yeah.
Now, some people hear this at home. Acho, that sounds stupid. What are you saying?
Preach.
I say it like this. More games are turned over. More games a team does something bad to lose the game as opposed to doing something good to go win the game. The Patriot way was very simple. We're going to let you lose the game. If you don't lose the game, we are now going to go win the game. That was the Patriot way. I think we underestimated the difficulty in that. Why? Cam Newton, he lost the game last week. Obviously, their defense didn't play well, allowed a 100-yard rusher, but Cam Newton threw 3 interceptions and then got benched. Against the Broncos, Cam Newton lost that game. Broncos only scored 18 points. Cam Newton, 2 interceptions. Against the Chiefs, Brian Hoyer lost that game. Gets to the red zone, takes a sack. They don't get points before half. Get to the red zone again, throws an interception. They lost that game. The Patriot way, Tom Brady executed masterfully. Other quarterbacks are having a hard time doing it, whether it's Brian Hoyer, whether it's Jarrett Stidham, whether it's Cam Newton, which tells me Tom Brady deserves more credit than he was ever given. The other thing it tells me is very simple. Patriots are 2 and 4 right now. If Tom Brady was on that roster, and I know you hate hypotheticals, I know you do.
Hate it.
But I'm hard-pressed to believe that they wouldn't be 5-1. Why do I say, 5-1. Why do I say that? Cam Newton lost the game against the Niners. Tom Brady's not throwing 3 interceptions, more than likely. We know that. Against the Broncos, are they really about to lose that game to the Broncos? I don't see that. Against the Chiefs, Bill Belichick executed his game plan. They got in scoring position 2 times. They don't capitalize because of bad quarterback play. As I look at it, it's very, very simple. Tom Brady was a master conductor. He was the conduit to the Patriots' success. And he deserves more credit, at least as we look at it right now. It's 70% Tom Brady is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, so look, what we're really up here trying to do is slice up the credit pie. Like, who gets more credit? Because they have 6 rings together. So we're like,
that's what you do in divorce, isn't it? Don't you like, I've never been divorced, but don't you got to say, okay, who gets the house? Who gets the car?
Good. I'm glad you lost contact with me eye to eye. Because you was like, divorces. And you said it with such emphasis, like somebody knows something I don't know. Here's the thing. Since we can't look at them collectively when they were together in New England and say who was greater, let's look at it differently. You just want to point out the latter. Tampa Bay versus New England this year. Let's talk about how this all started for me. Bill Belichick had 2 Super Bowl rings when he first walked up to say, hey, I'm Bill Belichick. Oh, I'm Tom Brady. I couldn't even get the starting job in Michigan, and I had a bad combine, and I was a 6th rounder. How are you, Mr. Bill Belichick, who was known throughout the league as a special coach, a genius as a defensive mind? This is the guy who stopped the K-gun. You remember the K-gun? Buffalo Bills? The K-gun. Like, he stopped the offense. He used to go out there with 2 defensive linemen and say, good luck, try and throw against my defense. I digress. So let's talk about what Tom Brady has been able to win in the last 7 weeks, which has you so enamored. This is a conversation of Belichick or Brady. Who's the better roommate? Okay, Belichick decides, okay, I'm going to prove who's the better roommate. I'm going to stay in this frat house all messed up and raggedy and everybody opting out for COVID and no talent and no weapons. I'm going to stay here and prove I'm the better roommate. What you going to do, Brady? Oh, Brady's just going to move to a mansion with all the help in the world and no state tax. And then he's going to sit there and say, look at me. Look what I've done. But that proves nothing to me. I look at this situation. No, it doesn't, because Belichick was special before he even met Tom Brady and proved with Tom Brady how special they could be.
He wasn't a special head coach.
He was
a special coach.
You don't walk into my other home.
He wasn't a special head coach. He was a special coach.
That's why I want to highlight the transitional years for Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick in his first year as a Cleveland Brown head coach was a 6-10 head coach. People gonna say, well, duh, he got fired from Cleveland or whatever. He left Cleveland, and it wasn't a good situation. What was his first year in New England, historian?
I'd say 5-11.
5-11. What were they the year before? 8-8.
Lost me.
Wait a minute. We killed Mike McCarthy when he takes a 4-12 bunch to 8-8 and to the Super Bowl in 5 years. But Bill Belichick took a team that was just 4 years removed from being in the Super Bowl, 3 winning seasons, and had an 8-8 team.
What's your argument, Marcellus? What's your argument? Land the plane, sir.
You don't feel that? You don't feel that? The point of this is Bill Belichick in transitional years may start slow. The same guy who was 5-11 from an 8-8 team took him to GOAT status in the dynasty. And now you want to assess that he can't do that again because he's already done it.
I feel like, Marcellus, there is a vast difference between transitioning from the Browns to the Patriots, a team to another team, to transitioning one player. I feel like there's a, you're saying there's a huge transitional year because Tom Brady departed. What about the same transitional year the Buccaneers faced? Jameis Winston departed, their quarterback left. So if your argument, Marcellus, is going to be that, well, Bill Belichick is in a transitional year, he lost his quarterback, regardless of how good or bad the quarterback was, that argument has to also apply to Bruce Arians. He's in a transitional year, too.
He's benefiting from it. He's in a transitional year, but we talk about that 5-11 year. What happened the next year? 11-5 and win a Super Bowl, brother. And you want to talk
who? With who?
With Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Make that my third ring. Oh, Tom Brady, you got me the other 2 as a coordinator?
Not as a head coach, so you know the difference.
I know the difference in title, but I also know what led that team. You think Tom Brady led that team? I played against that team. Wasn't Tom Brady. It was that defense. It was the special teams. So the point is, he used Tom Brady in his early years to just get him acclimated to this is what the culture is. And then Tom Brady went on to his individual numbers and success. But do not act like Tom Brady hit the ground running. He went to a situation that was cultivated by Bill Belichick.
Here's what I think everyone needs to be mindful of. Bill Belichick's pride might be starting to get in the way.
I want to hear this.
His pride might be starting to get in the way.
Let's go.
Marcellus, sometimes coaches think that they are above talent. Sometimes coaches think it's about them. It's not above the play. It's not about the players. Bill Belichick knew his team. He knew his roster. He chose to go into the season with that team. He didn't even sign Cam Newton early. It's not like Cam got signed in April. Right. It's not like Cam got signed as soon as he got cut, whenever it was he got released. Bill Belichick knew that he didn't have talent and chose to play the season accordingly. I'm reminded, and I've told you this before, we had our roster Chip Kelly in 2014. We let go of LaShawn McCoy. We don't re-sign Jeremy Maclin. We let go of Deshaun Jackson because Chip was like, you know what? I came in my first year. We won the NFC East. We went to the playoffs. Next year, we went 10-6. It's about me. We got rid of all our talent. We go 6-10. Chip Kelly gets fired. Bill Belichick, I'm worried that his pride is starting to get into the way. Why in the world would you go into this season with only Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry, a first-round pick who's shown he might not be that dude? Because Bill Belichick thinks it's about him. We're starting to realize it might not have been about Bill. It might have been about Tom.
Or you're a guy that doesn't like to play the long game. And as I've been knowing you, working with you for the last few years, and knowing you and working with you, those yellow suits, those vests, like you're not thinking about, now look at you, you're reduced to just being simple. Grimace, give me my Grimace. You're reduced to just being a simple guy right now. And this is what Belichick's playing. He's playing a long game, brother. You keep looking at this roster like it's so bad. What was Belichick thinking? He's thinking a long game. He knew he had the 18th ranked roster before all the COVID opt-outs and starters, lost 6 starters from COVID. This is a guy that knew that he was walking this situation undermanned. And he's okay with that because he's betting on the culture. He's betting on reinforcing that, and he's betting on reestablishing that. All I got to say is, please don't put all of this on Belichick, and really let's not put all this on Cam Newton. Cam Newton went to a situation that was built to be sorry, and everyone's mad at him for trying to change the expectations of this year. But you can't get mad at the life raft for trying to save you. And that's what Cam Newton and Bill Belichick's trying to do in this situation. Won that. Coming up, Russell Wilson and the Seahawks aren't undefeated anymore. We'll tell you if they got exposed by the Cardinals Sunday. Next.
Welcome back to Speak Fast now. Let's head to Seattle, where the Seahawks lost their first game of the season Sunday to the Cardinals. Russell Wilson is an MVP frontrunner, but he didn't look great. He threw 3 interceptions in the loss. But on the other side of the ball, the Seattle Seahawks defense is a huge problem. They gave up over 500 total yards to Arizona. Let's take a closer look at their lack of defense this season. They're giving up nearly 29 points a game and have allowed the most yards through the first 6 games of a season in NFL history. That does include the Dallas Cowboys. So, Marcellus, you let me know, did the Seahawks get exposed this weekend?
You know they got exposed. Only for those who weren't looking deeply already. Like you, Acho.
How you know my take? How you know my take, bro?
I've been working with you, and every day you tell me about Russell Wilson and his greatness. And I kept telling you, look, the defense is going to let Russell Wilson down. You're like, no, it doesn't matter. He's playing at an MVP level, even though in years past, his 3 previous opportunities to win MVP, he always starts fast but finishes slower. Starts hot, finishes warm. Not cold, but just warm. And that's why he's never won the MVP or received the vote. So in this situation, once again, Russell Wilson finds himself compromised because of this defense. And Russell Wilson knew that. That's why he was crying out for help. Give me a weapon. Give me a weapon. AB, please. AB, please help me because this is too much on me. And then, is this a coincidence that in the same week he realizes no help is coming, is that he goes out there and has his worst game offensively? I don't think it's a coincidence that they overlap. This is a Seattle team that had been 59-0, Acho, with a 4-point lead at half. You know what their record is now? 59-1, because they don't have the help. Russell Wilson told us he needed it. Acho, you didn't want to give it to him. You didn't believe in it. Now you have to deal with these consequences.
Marcellus, you don't know my take, and here's how I know you don't know it, because I agree with you.
Oh,
I agree with you, sir. They did get exposed, but it's not as though they truly got exposed. There was just a microscope that was put under something, right? Just because you can't see the flaw doesn't mean the flaw doesn't exist. Sometimes you got to take a closer look and be like, oh, there's the blemish. The Seahawks defense had been atrocious. We just weren't really talking about it a ton because they're still winning. The Seahawks defense has allowed more yards than the Cowboys defense. They've played 1 less game. That makes sense. The Seahawks defense allows more yards per play than the Cowboys defense. This historically bad Cowboys defense. The difference is Russell Wilson was covering that multitude of sins that the Seahawks defense was giving up. We knew that defense was bad. Russell Wilson, why is he rushed for 200-plus yards on the season? They're asking him, Marcellus, to do too much. That is the exposure. He has 3 interceptions, a terrible game by Russ's standards. The only reason we're not killing Russell Wilson is because the world has chosen to like Russell Wilson and dislike other quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers played terrible against the Buccaneers, and we were on his head. Russell Wilson plays terrible, and we're like, hey, let's just act like we didn't see it. That's the only reason. But did they get exposed? They did. They got exposed for the fact of they still don't have a pass rush. They still don't have a quality defense. Jamal Adams still leads the team in sacks with 2, tied for that team lead. That is the problem. That is the issue. Russ doesn't need receiver help. So he doesn't need AB. Tyler Lockett had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, I think 13 or 15 catches. 15 catches. Don't need receiver help. He needs a running game. He needs a defense.
Yeah, but the dam is broken now.
That's true.
It's a problem. Let me highlight some of the problems. It's not the likability of Dangerous that people are really buying into. It's the fact that something Tupac used to talk about.
What do you say?
The rose that grew from the concrete. Like, if you look at Russell Wilson and him on this team, when you look at him, you're like, wow, he's doing amazing despite, and that despite has changed over the years. And this year, it's the defense. You highlighted the defense. On pace to give up 7,500 yards this year. Are you kidding me? The same defense, I've never seen this stat line ever. that they, in 52 passing opportunities, didn't get to the quarterback once, and more importantly, didn't get a hit on the quarterback. 52 times, bro. And then the run game injuries. Look at all the injuries that's happening in the running game where you talk about Chris Carson, foot sprain, Travis Homer, Carlos Hyde even got a little hamstring. Woo! Running game problems, defensive problems, Russell Wilson, it's going to be a problem. Coming up, Uncle Jimmy has some thoughts on our wardrobe. Oh, what in the world is he going to say next? Speak for yourself. Before we go, old man Uncle Jimmy in the building. I heard you have some issues with our wardrobe. So, Unc, you're up. What's on your mind, baby?
What now, Unc?
Acho.
What's up, Unc? Get him.
Did I hear this dude today correctly when he called you Grimace?
He tried it.
The fictional character from McDonald Land, ruled by Mary McCheese. Hey, man, you know what? Quit letting this dude crack on you, man.
I know.
You know what you should have told him?
What I should have said?
You should have told him that you didn't realize how much he looked like the Carolina Panthers mascot until he put on that blue-ass suit. Now, that's what you should have told him. Hey, man, you know what, man? This is what Maya Angelou meant when he said, when somebody tells you who they are, you need to believe them. You asked him yesterday, would he help you fight? This man won't even help his sister fight. How in the hell he gonna help you fight? His sister beat up his friends when she was the one wearing high heels. Hey, man, cut this dude loose, man. What's wrong
Uncle
with you?
Jimmy, you know way too much. I told don't know them stories yet. Be nice. Fox Bet Live is next.